Hey guys, the J-Stog here, and welcome back to another Supercoach NRL video on the channel. That's right guys, today is Round 3's preview talk video. That's right, where we're going to be talking about, of course, the way I've got my team lined up, any changes to the team, any trades outs, any new players brought into the lineup, any people switched off the bench onto the field or put onto the bench or put it back into the reserves. We're going to also go through the teams that I tipped in my local, I guess you could say where I live. We have a local comp that I'm currently in where I'm tipping for. I'm going to go through who I chose in those ones. I'm also going to do my tab bets later on. Probably by this time you've seen this, I've probably already done my tab bets. But I'll let you know in the round 3 review recap video, which should be up next week, probably Monday, Tuesday, where if I won anything or not. But like I said, we are going to go through it. We're going to talk about it. We're not going to go into, of course, the game day thing that we went into in our round 2. What was it? So of course the game day there. Of course, we're not going to go into game day or anything like that. We don't really need to. As you can see, if I scroll up, we've used one of our trades. We were on 37. We traded off one player and bought some more. As you can see, our salary cap has went back up because I think we were on 22,000 before. Now we're at 172,300, which is very cool. We've saved some money. We bought a low price player who does pretty well. This round, we're also projected to get 1,086, so that's pretty cool considering we were projected in the last round to get 1,027 and we only got 1,023, so we're projected to get a higher amount of score for this round. As you can see guys, at the time of recording this, there's only 22 hours left. Your boy is set. 8 PM, of course, every 8 PM on Thursday is when they do the cut down, where pretty much whatever you have already locked in is locked in. Of course, our value right there for our team. I think you can only get 2 trades for round 3 because it's got to cross there now. But let's go through the team real quickly, and then I'll go through the team. I'll talk about the changes. Then I'll talk about who I've betted in my comp that I'm doing, and of course we'll go through and read these little notes on the players that have the notes there, so we can know what's going on with those players. So, starting with the hooker role. As you can see, last episode, where it was round 2's recap review, Slade Griffin was on the field and Cook was our bench hooker. This time I have put Cook onto the field as he just, even the Rabbitohs lost last week in round 2. He did very well. Griffin did pretty well too, but he didn't get as high as a score as he did the previous week, so I put Griffin onto the bench. He's still going to be running into the lineup. Of course, like I said, he's playing off the bench, but Cook is going to be our starting hooker because he's just week by week doing very, very well. I don't know about the scores right there. Of course, you've got your 81 and 74. I think average points is 74. And then 81 is what the points he got from the last round. So I believe that's what it is. Of course, with Cleary, with Nathan Cleary, his points were more than 76. I think he was 152 or something like that, because he had the captain add-on points that he have to try and do and stuff like that. So being captain and vice captain puts a little bit more point-wise that you have to game for, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. So like I said, we got Cook in our hooker position. Front rowers haven't changed it. It's still Martin Tapau and Tom Burgess. Very happy with those two right there. Like I said, Griffin, I'm still happy with Griffin. That's why he's got the bench purple, because he's going to be running on for us as well. Like I said, Cook, I just want to put Cook on the field because he does very well on the field. They both do well, but I want to give Cook a go and see how he goes more. Second rowers. So we have Harris and Kickout both staying on the field. However, we've put Arrow on the field now and replaced him for Rockow. So Robbie Rockow is now on the, I guess you could say, the reserves. He didn't do too bad in the Tigers' win over the Storm. However, I feel like Arrow did a lot better, and Arrow deserves to be on the field a little bit more, so I'm putting Arrow on the field. Rockow will be in our reserves for this round. If he improves in this next game against, of course, the Broncos, I will have to reconsider and probably put him on the field. So then, Kickout hopefully he has a better match this week against the Bulldogs. Last week he didn't get as high as he did in the first round, but of course, if you don't know guys, I did miss out on round number 1. I missed out on the preview and the recap and result of that because I didn't do the Supercoach NRL for round number 1. I jumped in at round number 2. Didn't have enough time to do the preview video for that, so that's why you're wondering why this is the first preview for round number 3, because yeah, that's why. So like I said, second row is only one change with Arrow joining the field and Rockall going to the bench, or the reserves. Halfback is still Nathan Cleary. Very, very happy with him on the field. I am loving having him as my halfback. He is just a gun player. Still captain. I'm not going to take captaincy away from him unless he starts going very poorly. He's going to keep it. 5'8", we got Cameron Munster from the Storm as well. Still in that position. Of course, Brooks did well, but Brooks can't move into the 5'8" because he is classified as a halfback, so he's going to be still on our bench because Brooks does very well. Marshall, of course, is our backup for Munster. Marshall's doing pretty well, but Munster, of course, is getting higher scores. So even though Munster didn't do terribly well against the Tigers in the last round, I'm putting Munster still on that field. I took away his vice captaincy, as you can see down here. Ponga is going to be vice captain, so we're gonna, because Ponga's pretty, he's pretty beast. He's pretty beast. So of course, Nathan Cleary is our captain, and our vice captain is Kalyn Ponga. Moving on to our wings and centres, we have James Roberts, we have Latrell Mitchell, Corey Thompson, and Peter Hiku, all still in their positions, of course. I really hope that Latrell Mitchell picks up his game in this round. They're going on against, who are they versing? The Knights. So he should hopefully pick up his game against the Knights. I really hope he does. If not, I'm going to most likely put Ross on the field and put Latrell on the reserves. And then, of course, so I'm willing to give Latrell another 2 rounds. If he doesn't do well this round, then the next round, in round number 4, he'll be on the reserves or on the bench, probably running off the bench. And Nathan Ross will jump onto the actual wing and centres on field. And yeah, like I said, I do like Latrell. Just needs to pick his game up just a little bit more than what he's doing. Just come on, you're a gun player, mate. Come on, you can do it. But Hiku, very happy with. Roberts, very happy with. Thompson, doing pretty well. I'm actually pretty happy with Thompson being on the field until he starts to decline a bit more. He's doing very well. And then, of course, no change. Why would we change our fullback? Kalyn Ponga, beast. He is definitely going to stay there, of course. My favourite players on the team, I'd have to say, going through the actual online running team. I actually like them all, but of course, if you coach, you gotta have a couple of star favorites that you like the most, and that'd be Nathan Cleary and Ponga for me. But of course, I like every single player that I have on my field, on my bench, on my reserves. So, talking about the bench, let's go through our bench. We have Slade Griffin starting on the bench this week for this round number 3. Like I said, previous round, he was on the field. He did pretty well. However, I believe that Cook should be given a chance, and Cook's doing very well. They're both doing very well. They're gun hookers. So, going to put Cook on the field. Griffin's going to start on the bench. So, he's still going to be on my running side off the bench, of course. Following that, our Matt Lodge still on the bench, still keeping him on the bench. He's still running on, so that's cool. He's doing very well. I think he can stay there, of course. I'm happy with him being there. Next one, Luke Brooks, still on the bench from last week like he was last week. Definitely, I feel like if this was an actual team, he would be like the X Factor running on a takeover when Cleary needs a bit of a break, or when Munster needs a break, Brooks would run on and carve it up. So very happy with how his performance has been. And of course, we have taken Copley off the bench. We had Copley on the bench last week, I believe. So Nathan Ross has now joined our bench as our 4th member of the bench, and Copley has been pushed back to reserves. Copley did well, but Nathan Ross did better this last round, so gonna give Nathan Ross a bit of a go. Now, of course, going through our reserves, and we're going to talk about if we got, of course, as you know, we did trade one player out for another player, so I'll talk about that when we get to that. But we have Lou, very happy with his performance, doing very well on the field in real life. So he's in our reserves as our backup in our second rows, of course. Same with Lodge. Bromwich and Rockall and Lou all in our second rows, of course. And of course, yeah, he's in the front row. But yeah, so Kenny Bromwich doing very well. Just a little bit, short sometimes. I can't remember if he was short or not of his last projected score. Rockall did average, didn't do the best, didn't do the worst, but he's still pretty cool. Maybe he had a week off where he wasn't really hitting how he was meant to be hitting. Louis, very good. Brooks, of course, we've already talked about. Marshall, definitely happy with Marshall in the field. Projected for 21.5 for this round, by the looks of it. Average points is what he's projected for. And then, of course, 16 was what I got in the last round, I believe it was. I'm not 100% sure with that, but of course, moving on to our centers and wingers, we got Copley and O'Neill. Very happy with those two guys. Like Copley, this is this round where he's been pushed back into the reserves. And of course, you can see our backup fullback is Ben Hampton. So, like I said in yesterday's video, guys, if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. It will be linked in the description down below. It is the NRL Supercoach Round 2 review recap video. Jordan Kahu broke his jaw, won't be back till like round 12, I believe. So he's out for at least 3 months, maybe 2.5 months, something like that. So Ben Hampton, as you can see, very cheap. He's also in the 5'8" area as well, but grabbed him. He didn't do too well in the match that the Cowboys had against the Broncos. However, I do have hopes for Ben Hampton. He is a gun player and a young player as well, so hopefully he can come out and get some good wins. He's not really projected for too high of scores, but Kahu wasn't either. And we got him for just short of 200k, so very nice to grab him. I think he makes our second Cowboy player on the field. Yeah, he does. Makes our second Cowboy. O'Neill and Hampton being those two. So that's pretty cool. That's really only changes that we've done in this round for round number 3, guys. Like I said, projected for 1,086. We've got another 36 trades up our sleeve. We've only used 1 out of the 37. So of course, we're going to go through the actual matches for this round now. And as you can see right there, it is the first round is going to be Melbourne Storm against the North Queensland Cowboys. Now in this match, I tipped the Storm in my, I guess you could say, the tipping comp that I'm in right now, and I tipped them to win by 2 points because I had to have a margin for that. So I've tipped the Storm by 2. I believe that match is going to be a very close match. Coming off the Storm, you know, of course, losing in Billy Slater's 300th game. That was a bit of a shocker to him to lose to the Tigers. But the Tigers, 2 upsets in a row over the Storms and the Roosters. So can they do it again against the Broncos? We'll soon find out this week. But like I said, Cowboys need to bounce back after that loss to the Broncos. And of course, the Storm needs to bounce back. So both teams need to bounce back, but they've both got gun lineups. They definitely just need to pull out their A game. Of course, Cameron Smith not doing too well in the Supercoach these rounds, like in the actual Supercoach. Thurston as well, not doing as well as what they're both predicted and projected to do. So it's going to be interesting, but I tipped the Storm by 2 in that one. Moving to the next one, we have the Bulldogs versus the Panthers. So in this one, I believe the Panthers are going to do it, but hopefully they can stop doing the way that they've been doing it. What they do is they let 14 points go first, and then they just come back and then just like chase them down. It's like they're playing with their food. That's what it feels like when you watch them. It's like, okay, so they let them through on the first half. The other team scores so much, and then the Panthers just like chase them down, like, you know, chasing down their prey in the wild and just slaughtering them. So I tipped the Panthers in this one. As you can see, Panthers are favoured to win. Storm were favoured to win over the Cowboys, of course. But the Panthers were favoured to win. I did choose the Panthers because I believe that the Panthers have a very, very good team with Kikau, Cleary, and like a bunch of other. Maloney needs to step it up a little bit, in my opinion. But Bulldogs, they need to kind of gel a little bit more together. They're doing well, but just they need their first win. But I don't believe that their first win is going to come over the Panthers. I believe the Panthers are definitely going to be beating them. Next match we have is the West Tigers versus the Brisbane Broncos. So this is my team versus one of my brother's team. He goes for the Broncos. My other brother goes for the Eels. You know, they got destroyed against the Seagulls in the last round. But as you all know, guys, I go for the Tigers. So Tigers are not favourite to win. Of course, as you can see, the Broncos are favoured to win in this match. Both Friday. It's a Friday match like the one before. So, like I said, the Broncos are favoured to win. However, Tigers have 2 huge upset victories, whereas Broncos, I believe, have 1 loss and 1 win. Yeah, I believe. Who did they lose to in the first round? Was it the Dragons, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. I can't really remember it off by heart, but I know they definitely beat the Cowboys in the last round. So it's going to be interesting. Can the Tigers come out and put down the doubters? Can they stop the doubters from doubting them? That's the question. People say that, oh, it was a fluke win over the Roosters. And then they're like, oh, it was even more of a fluke win over the Storm. But no, I think it was... Maybe the Roosters was a bit of a shock. It wasn't a fluke. It was more of a shock to, I guess, everyone, even to myself. I thought, you know, going up against the Roosters with Tedesco and a couple of other gun players on there, it's going to be pretty hard. But we won. And then, of course, we went up against the Storm, Billy Slater's 300th game, and we actually won. You know, a lot of penalties conceded in that match. But, however, Tigers did pretty well. Can they put down another top team from last year? We're going to find out in that round, but I tipped the Tigers in that match because I believe in my mighty West Tigers. Next game we have is the Raiders versus the Warriors. Now, Warriors doing very well, Raiders doing very poorly in this series so far, suffering a couple of injuries as well. Ricky Stewart looks like he might be hitting the you know, best of luck in your futures endeavors, but I'm surprised that the Raiders are actually favorited to win in that match. I thought the Warriors would have been, but then again, a lot of people are saying that the Warriors aren't really, like, people are saying that the Warriors are fluking it like the Tigers are fluking it, but in my opinion, Warriors and Tigers are doing very well. Even Knights are doing very well. So in that match, I went with the Warriors because I believe in the Warriors. Next match we have is the Rabbitohs versus the Sea Eagles. I went for the Sea Eagles in that match after the performance over the Eels. Very, very good, bouncing back from that like shocking 1-point loss to the Knights in the first round, and then of course 54-0 over the Eels. And Rabbitohs, I believe they might have 2 losses. I can't remember. 2 losses, if not 1 loss, 1 win. But going into that match, I think Manly are definitely going to come out guns a-blazing, momentum rolling, and just run over the Rabbitohs. But then again, Rabbitohs could be the upset. You know, they are missing Reynolds, and English just got injured recently, so Rabbitohs are kind of losing some of their key players. Next match we have is the Eels versus the Sharks. Sharks, both teams have losses. Both teams, I don't think the Eels have gotten the win yet. I don't know off by heart. Like I said, some of these ones are a little bit iffy. Like I can't really 100% remember, but I know the Sharks have got 2 losses. Sharks and Eels, look at that, both 1.92 or $1.92 each. So it's pretty even on the margin, you know, by Ladbrokes. They're kind of like, they don't know who to go for. But I believe the Sharks will come out and get their win that they need. Eels, I feel like that loss from the Sea Eagles have just kind of crushed their spirits in a way. Like, it just kind of looked like it. Moses, 2 weeks in a row being sent off, not very good. But then again, like I said, you know, Eels could come out guns a-blazing and, you know, fire back to get some redemption from that loss from the Sea Eagles and shut the Sharks down. But in that match, I'm going to be going for the Sharks because I believe the Sharks are going to pull it out. Next match we have is the Titans versus the Dragons. This match, of course, Dragons currently sitting in first place on the ladder and are doing very well this year. Dragons winning, not winning, but favorited to win over the Titans, and I am going for the Dragons in that match because I believe the Dragons in this. Titans do have a good team. I just believe that the Dragons have a better team this year. So yeah, that's probably what's going to happen with Ben Hunt and of course Widdop in the second halves, carving it up. A lot of great players there. But going on to the last match, it is the Roosters versus the Knights. Knights aren't favorited to win, surprisingly, after their 2 wins. Roosters, like I said, suffered a loss to the Tigers, and then I can't remember if they won or lost their last round. I think they did win. Yeah, I think they won their last game. But Knights, you know, it's been pretty close for the Knights. They won by 1 point over the Sea Eagles, and then in the last game, who they beat? They who did they beat? They versed I think it was the Raiders. Yeah, it was the Raiders, and they only beat them by 2. It was 30-28. So very close games. People are saying that the Knights have some good players, and they do. They definitely do have some good players. I believe the Knights, Warriors, Panthers, and Tigers have all just done so well this year, and the Dragons, considering their last year and the year before that, they've all kind of done relatively under par. But The Knights do have a good lineup. I just don't think that they're going to win over the Roosters, and that's why I've tipped the Roosters in this match. I think the Roosters are going to come out and get that win and shut the Knights' momentum down. But then again, the Knights have been definitely very beastly, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. By the looks of it, it's just going through it all. As you can see, you know, the little green dots, if you're wondering what those are, that's because they're actually named for the onside running thing. Orange dots shows that they're named for the bench. See, selected on interchange for their actual teams this round. But we've only got, like, what? I think it's Louis and Bromwich that are starting on the bench this round in real life, so not too bad. I'm probably going to go and read these little notes in my own time, guys, because it's too much of a hassle because they just won't stay up. It's just, you know, it's there for a couple of seconds, disappears. But let me know, guys, who are you changed on your team? Have you got any awesome new buys in your team? How many trades have you got left? How much salary cap do you have remaining? And of course, what is your projected round 3 score? As you can see, I have been projected for 1,086. We did pretty damn well in the last round. I'm very happy with the way my lineup is looking. Like I said, Hampton is the newest member to our team. And of course, the only real changes to our actual team on the onside is, of course, Ponga becoming vice captain, Arrow making his debut from the reserves onto my onside field, and of course Cook coming on from the bench, and Slade Griffin going to the bench, and I believe Nathan Ross going to the bench as well, guys. But that is going to be it for the NRL Supercoach 2018 round 3 preview, guys. And of course, it's also got my tips in there. So let me know, who are you tipping out of all of these 8 matches in the comment section down below. Like I said, let me know, did you have to get rid of any players? Did you buy any new players? Did you make any really needed changes to your team? How are you going in the Supercoach, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button if you did enjoy this one, guys, but not too hard because you will break your computers. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the dog squad and spread the word of the Jace Dog to everybody you know. Tick that little bell as well, guys, to become part of the notification dog squad, and you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video to the YouTubes or I go live on the channel. And guys, let's get a minimum of 15 likes on this video right here, right now, right up in your face to show support for this new series, the channel, and of course the NRL as a whole. And guys, if you want to follow me on any social medias, I have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Twitch. They're all linked in the description down below. But guys, like I said, not too much of a change to our team. Like I said, new hooker on the field, the other hooker on the bench. We've of course moved Rockow off the field and put Arrow on the field. Ross has joined the bench, and of course, because we took Copley off, Ponga has become vice captain, and Hampton has joined the team. But guys, like I said, I hope you have been enjoying seeing this on the channel. We're going to be continuing to do the Supercoach NRL type of previews for each round, as well as the round recap reviews after the round is done. So expect to see round number 3's recap and review Monday or Tuesday next week, guys. And then of course we'll come back with another preview for round number 4, probably Wednesday or Thursday next week. But guys, like I said, hopefully you are enjoying this. If you are, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, guys, stay awesome. The Jace Dog is out of here. See you.